Hey everybody, Johnny out of here, obviously. And I'm going to have to cover a little bit of ground in this video that I also talked about in the last video, but we're doing that just so you don't have to go watch that, so that you know what we're talking about here. Marriage is basically toast. I mean, there are still people getting married, but the numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Men, some identifying as MGTOW, others who've never heard of it, are recognizing the hazards, recognizing the raw deal of marriage and just saying, no, I want no part of this, I'm out. Now, there's three reasons for this. The first is the marriage contract itself. The contract is unequal. It's basically a business contract. I know people are going to object. That's what it is. It's contract law specialized for making little babies. It's a business contract between two people in which the advantages and the liabilities are unequal depending on the sex. If you're male and you get married to a female, well, you have a huge liability and a hazard and a penalty on exit and very little advantage. If you're female and you get married, you have a huge advantage. Very little penalty, no substantial penalty on exit. In fact, a big monetary payout on exit when you violate the terms of that contract, and you can make the other person keep paying. Well, that's a shit deal. Only a stupid person would participate in that if it wasn't wrapped up in all this mumbo-jumbo romance and woo-woo that we wrap marriage in to trick people into doing it. Oh, it's forever! No, it's not. It's a contract. That's all it is. But guys are waking up and going, yeah, no, I don't think so. There's two other reasons, though. One is that the social and legal climate in our society offers almost no or very little negative consequence to women for bad behavior, including being violent or predatory or committing fraud or lying or being abusive in a relationship. There's just almost no downside for any of that behavior. In fact, it's praised in a lot of circles. Conversely, for men enacting the same kind of behavior, there's a massive downside. Social censure, you'll lose your job, you'll go to jail, you'll be blacklisted, and so on. So men are not positively motivated or incentivized by the values of our society or by law to act like predatory, violent, crazy, psychopathic, abusive, usurious assholes, but women are. And so obviously, whatever is incentivized and not penalized, you get more of, all other things being equal. The third reason is the public narrative, the story that we tell, the mythology of our culture. And that's that women are a victim class, downtrodden and helpless, and a rape epidemic, and there's the boot heel of the patriarchy stomping on the face of woman. And conversely, that men are predatory. We have terms like toxic masculinity, which serve to make your identity as a man the same as poison. And we have rape culture, we have hegemonic masculinity, as if my sexual identity, a component of who I am, is in some way a form of a dictatorial government. It's absolutely obnoxious, insane, and repulsive. And men are increasingly saying, well, I fucking had enough of this. You can take your toxic masculinity and your hegemonic masculinity and your rape culture and roll them all up and stick them up your ass and go away from me. And a growing number of men are doing that despite the continuous programming and narrative and nagging and belittling and shaming that tries to keep them back in service. Do what you're told, even though we hate you. And no matter how much you do what you're told, we're still going to hate you. We're still going to beat on you psychologically. So these three factors are combining to drive men out of marriage, out of dating, out of society, and they're saying, oh, okay, the whole thing can burn and I'll be fine. You just stay away from me. But in response, we have this traditionalist, traditional conservative, some people call it traditional gynocentric guys, still buying into the dream of marriage, who may be married themselves or may want to participate in that in the future, trying to coerce other men, younger men, back into the rotten, lousy, scam, destructive deal of marriage. And in the face of this argument, in the face of the reasons why this is happening, the unequal deal of the marriage itself, the legal and social climate that makes it dangerous and disadvantageous to engage, the public narrative of shame and hatred and scorn and abuse on men. These guys are trying to put incentives in, but not addressing the hazards that are the reason for rejection in the first place. Well, if your marriage works out, if none of these bad things happen, your marriage will be really good and your health will improve and you'll live longer and you'll make more money. Well, that's true, but you're not actually addressing all the hazards why I'm not going to do that. That's like saying, if I win the jackpot at the casino, I'll have a lot of money in my pockets, but the odds are very poor for me winning the jackpot. That's why a sensible person doesn't spend a lot of time in a casino gambling, throwing their money away. The house always wins. So to these traditionalists selling this argument, well, that as long as your marriage doesn't blow up, as long as she's not incentivized to discard you, steal your money, have you thrown in jail, well, if none of that stuff happens, your marriage will be really great. That is a dishonest argument. Now, if you personally, a traditionalist, want to go get married, you're welcome to do that. I will think you're a dum-dum, but I won't stop you because I don't believe in doing rescues. But when you, the traditionalist, especially older guys with a sense of authority and gravitas, try to coerce and trick younger guys into this path of their life's destruction, I have no fucking sympathy or tolerance or patience that you are an honest actor. You're tricking young men into their destruction. And that's scummy worm behavior for which there is no apologizing or backing out. But to everybody else, thanks very much for watching, and as always, have a lovely, lovely day. Just one more thing, one announcement to make. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. at the address 515 West Hastings Cafe, the Canadian Association for Equality is putting on a panel discussion called What Does It Mean to Be a Man Today?, at which there will be 4 different men with different perspectives speaking on that panel, and I am one of them. So that's tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., 515 West Hastings, room 1800 on the SFU campus. Canadian Association for Equality panel on What Does It Mean to Be a Man Today? Come on down and listen to what we have to say. And as always, thanks very much for listening, and have a lovely day.